Bryan Mbeumo. At one point we thought, yes, he's already signed for Manchester United. It seemed like it was practically done. Is there confidence? What's the chances of Spurs hijacking this deal also?
Look, for sure there is appreciation from Thomas Frank, and so it's quite obvious to discuss a target like Mbeumo for Tottenham, because he's one of the names they discussed internally as soon as he signed his contract as new Tottenham manager. So it's obvious in football to see these kind of situations, but my understanding is that Man United remain at the moment in control of the situation, in conversation with Brentford, club to club, talking almost on daily basis, trying to find a solution. We know with these clubs like Brentford, Brighton, it's always difficult to negotiate for their top players. So it's not easy to reach an agreement, but Man United are on that. Are talking to the club, always in contact with player agents and with an agreement with Bryan Mbeumo, because the player wants to go to United. And so at the moment, United remain front runners on this story. Let's see if they can be able to reach an agreement on the fee with Brentford.
Mentions there a potential €100 million price tag, David. Manchester United have been linked with him. How would they be able to afford that?
Well, when you speak to the English clubs, they think that perhaps they could prize Ekitike for a bit lower. Seb and the German perspective, understandably, could be different, and it's Eintracht Frankfurt's gift to ask for whatever they like. Maybe if a club got to 80 and some add-ons or whatever, I don't know how they would structure it. But there is some optimism that it's not quite as high ultimately as Eintracht sort of letting it be known. But there is still significant financial commitment when it comes to the player as well, on salary and commissions around it too. And many people asking the same question as you: how would Manchester United finance it? I don't know that they're going for him fully. So I think that's a bit hypothetical. It seems there's been some inquiries, and that's kind of their job, to be asking after players and understanding the conditions of a deal and maybe being interested in the player. But that doesn't mean they're going to do it. Manchester United will be surveying multiple options. We've seen and heard so much about Gyökeres, about Ekitike now, about Delap previously. Look, they managed to get the Cunha deal done. They clearly had some more money than that because they were ready to do the Delap deal. In the absence of Delap, they're ready to do or exploring doing the Bryan Mbeumo deal, and he wants to join them, and there's a very good chance that will happen, but it's not there yet. And then afterwards, the impression you've got is that they'll need to sell. And so based on the success of sales, players such as Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Alejandro Garnacho, maybe a departure for Rasmus Højlund, whether it be loan or permanent, which would also free up squad space as well for a striker to come in. Tyrell Malacia, Anthony, etc. Suddenly you find yourself in a very different financial world than you are now. So yeah, I can. We're talking hypothetically here. I can understand the concern about what Manchester United's finances are looking like right now and whether they would be able to fund a player like Ekitike now. But it might not be now that we're dealing with this sort of question. It might be further down the line as the summer progresses. They have the resources as a result of a number of sales, and they can push the boat out to pay a lot of money for a transfer fee, salary, commissions for such a striker. It doesn't mean that he will pick Manchester United if that happens, because we've seen that the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool are among the many admirers for Hugo Ekitike. There's no obligation for Eintracht Frankfurt to sell at all, as Seb explains a lot better than me, and so it is part of Manchester United's due diligence on that position, I'm sure, but I'm not aware of a striker being sort of the next one through the door at Manchester United. I think that is more likely to be Bryan Mbeumo if they can strike that deal, and the striker situation will be addressed subsequently, no doubt.
All right, so lots of clubs interested then, Seb. Is there any indication from the player as to A, if he's going to push for this move, and B, if he has a preference of destination if he does?
No, there's no suggestion that he's going to become militant or flounce out. Not at all. I think he has great respect for what he's been able to do at Eintracht and what they've been able to do for him. I think also, further to David's point, the clubs that were solid options have kind of been long-term options. That would probably be Chelsea and Liverpool, even though there's been no bid for him yet. There's no sort of significant club-to-club progress. The Manchester United thing We're saying that, yes, as reported, Hugo Ekitike did grow up as a Manchester United fan. I don't think that's really a signpost to what he will do next. But their check with Eintracht about 10 days ago was exactly that, a check, a remaining cognizant of what's happening in the market, what a player's situation is, rather than a kind of determination to get anything done. So I don't think it's reached a stage where he has those options in front of him. I know that Chelsea and Liverpool will both be attractive, but I think we've got a way to go, especially with that asking price and Eintracht's position on this deal. We've got a way to go until we know what he's going to actually want to do, because there aren't true options available yet.
Bryan